Hello and welcome to my channel. This is the second card in the wedding card series. It's a trifold step card and comes with a banner which looks like it's been garlanded. I'm working on a blue version of this, but Indian weddings are more about festive red and orange and yellow, so let's stick to the traditional color palette for this project. I've taken an A4 pastel sheet for my card base. Pastel paper is very thick, and since I'll be adding so much stuff on my card, I want it to be able to hold quite a lot of weight. Now trim it at 3 inches, keeping the A4 sheet vertical, but leave a gap of 2 inches on either side. Next, fold the card in half as you normally would. On the broader side of the cut, score at 2 inches and 3.5 inches. Flip and repeat. Now these are not really standard measurements because you can vary the markings and make different types of trifold cards, step cards. All of these score lines are to be folded accordion style. Make sure that the final card lies flat, and that is very important for the card to be able to go through the mail, stand properly and look elegant. For a traditional looking card, I needed traditional looking papers. I've chosen a very pretty paper pack by Papericious. This is their Incredible India collection, and I'll mark where I should cut the paper and trim it to size. This takes less effort than actual measurements, at least according to me. In a similar manner, I'll cut out different types of different pieces of paper for different sections of this card. I did keep in mind that the 3 steps of this card have contrasting colors. This way it looks more pleasing and all the 3 steps are clearly visible. As you can see, for the last step I cut such a big piece. That's because I want to create a pocket with this. You can of course fold a longer pattern paper and create a pocket. That actually will be much easier, especially for this card, because the paper will be visible on the opposite side also. So technically the paper is not getting wasted. Now, why was there a need to create a pocket? That's because this is not a wedding card as a gift to the couple, but it's an invitation card. So I need space to mention the function's details and venue, etc. I later printed these out and colored them with distress oxides with the help of the bride actually. I used a quick fix to glue the paper. I really thought it will be stronger than white glue, but if you're going to recreate this card, I'll suggest you use white glue only. When you're using liquid glue, it's important that your surface stays in contact. So I am going to clip the papers together so that it stays put. While that's drying, let's distress the edges of the card. For this I'm using Cranberry Crush Artistry ink. This is a vintagey red. It's like distress inks only and reacts with water. And for this particular purpose, it was a really good ink. Now for the star attraction of the card, banner with the garland, I'm just going to take a toothpick and wrap a floral tape around it. If you stretch the floral tape, it oozes glue and it sticks right on the surface. So it's easier to work with for this purpose compared to say ribbon or baking twine or silk thread. But you can use whatever you wanted to. I wanted glitter also on this card. It's best to use glitter quilling strips for this purpose. I have had them in my stash forever and they don't easily run out. Here I thought purple was a more contrasting color and it just sort of adds a finishing touch. Now I've gold embossed this peacock feather. You can work with watercolor and do an emboss resist technique if you wanted to. But I want each strand in that peacock feather to stand out. For this, alcohol markers seem to be the best idea. They won't spread as much, and if I do lines, the lines would be actually clearly visible. So I have chosen three colors of TouchNew markers, yellow and two shades of orange. These aren't standard peacock feather colors, but they did go well with my card. I kept rubbing a dry baby wipe in between, just because I didn't want the alcohol marker to dry on the gold embossing. In a way, what I've done is I've colored the peacock feather yellow all over, and then I took an orange marker to add shadow to each strand there. Whenever I felt that the orange was a bit much, I'll go over with the yellow again and tone it down. Once I'm happy with the way it looks, I am going to fussy cut it. I'm going to make sure I don't have white edges by going around the image with the marker. If you want to see how a green and blue color combination of the feather would look, check out my blog. I don't have an alphabet stamp in the size that I desired for this banner. So I did some lettering using micron pens. I want to make sure that the ink does not move when I color it. So I hit it with a heat gun, and you can see I've limited the color palette to the same colors I had before. Now it's time to make the garland. I have set my glue gun and now I'll cut a string of pearls. I have got white colored pearls, but you can definitely use orange or yellow. I find that you can easily color the white ones and color coordinate them as per your requirement. For this purpose, I use Mungyo alcohol markers. They are meant to work on any surface, no prepping required. The ends of the string already has some rings. I insert the ring in the pointy end of the toothpick. If you don't have a string with rings, you can directly attach it to the banner. As you can see, I am using hot glue to stick this banner to the toothpick. I just wanted a fast drying glue which will hold such dimensional stuff in place. Sorry for going out of focus there. I bought the thinner glue stick than this glue gun actually requires. So I have to sort of push the glue stick into the gun again and again. To counter the dimension that I have added because of the toothpick, I'm going to add some foam tape. This will maintain the balance. Also, it will help in sticking a backing that will hide all of this mess inside. By the way, this project was so difficult to condense into a less than 15 minutes video, but I did it, yay! Not 15 minutes, but yes, 18 minutes is fine, I guess. I hope you don't mind all the fast forwarded sections. Most of the stuff I have used here are listed in the description box below. You can also find a free template for this step card on my blog. Anyways, back to the card that we are making. There are 3 steps in the card. The toothpicks or the pillars that they have become now should be attached to the front panel of the second step. In my first card that I made, the card that I showed you at the beginning of this video, I have stuck it on the back side of the second step, and it slags slightly. But if it is on the front panel, it would be more upright. I'm being very generous with the glue because this star attraction should not fall. Notice how I'm going around the stick more than applying it on the stick. This way I'm filling up all the gap between the stick and the paper. Again, once I'm done with this, I'll again go back to my foam tape and apply it just so I could stick the pattern paper I cut for this. I used a stitched hard die and ran this pic of the lovely couple through my physics machine. I'm distressing the edges of the pic simply because this picture had a lot of white space, and also it will bring together the card base and the photo. I've used foam adhesive only on one side of the heart. While gluing such pieces, which will be hanging off the edge of the card, make sure that all the visible parts have a finished look to them. You can leave them as it is if it doesn't bother you, but then it's not that much of a hard work. So yeah, I sort of just had to color the pieces on the back side. I have these small tiny little roses. These were also white, but I sprayed them with orange spray. You can use hot glue to stick them, but it's too much effort taking out my glue gun and turning it on, heating it up. White glue works really well with paper flowers. I'm sticking everything down, no fancy arrangement. The tabla that you see here is from a stamp set called Indian Weddings. I'll show you the stamp set later in the video. I glue down the pocket on the third step of the card, again on the front side, and then I'll secure it with paper clips. You can call the card done at any point now, but I had to add some more finishing touches. So here is Nuvo drops in gold, and I'm gonna add some polkas on the banner and also add some interest on the tabla. I think at each point I wanted to fold the card and see if it was holding up properly. The backside of the three steps are yet to be done. Also, there is no sentiment on the card as of now, so let's add one. Here's the stamp set I was talking about. It's called Indian Wedding by Craftangles. I'm stamping the sentiment with Versamark. Once I add the gold embossing powder, you can see it reads on your special day. I'll just take a brush and remove the letter Y, and it now reads on our special day, which is perfect for an invitation card. Heat set it, and let's move on to the next element. Now this next element is an intricate die cut. I don't have a golden colored paper, so I gold embossed this white die cut to create my own custom paper. One trick here to get a good coverage of the embossing powder is do not tap on the die cut. Let it retain a thick layer of the embossing powder and then heat set it. Also, you can use yellow alcohol marker to cover any area that's not embossed properly. I am now putting a little of that yellow and red thread into the stamped panel. I think such details make a lot of difference in any card. They add more meaning and just take the card to the next level. These colors are considered auspicious, and it also made the little tag look complete. To add the intricate dies, what I do is I squeeze a lot of glue on a piece of paper and I dab it on the back side of the die cut using my fingers. This way I have full coverage and the glue is not leaking out. Just avoid moving your die cut while doing this. If you want, you can put something heavy on your die cut so that it dries properly. Once I was done with this, I realized that there's a bit too much gap between the two hard die cuts. So I'm gluing strips of red stones all around the photo, but I don't really trust the adhesive on the crystals. So to ensure that the stones won't come off while you post the card or give it to someone else, I'm going to add some glossy accents. This will dry transparent and it won't be visible. Finally, I am going to add gold nuvo drops on the roses. Not exactly to add dimension, but just some interest and to bring everything together. I hope you liked this card and the card making process. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to create more such videos. Thanks for watching.